Subnautica 2 will be delayed into 2026 when it comes to early access, at least if we can believe Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, who has been actually always spot on with all the information of the gaming industry in the last decade plus. And from the information he is giving us from internal sources, it seems very well that this might be the case again. So this is a pretty bitter pill to swallow for all the Subnautica fans out there, me included. And you might be wondering why? What's going on there? Didn't they just oust the creators of Subnautica and the creators of Unknown Worlds? Like, what's going on there? So this is a very interesting thing. Jason Schreier is saying that there was apparently a contract in place with Krafton if they would release Subnautica 2 into 2025, and then they would get certain milestones, right? Certain sale milestones, and they could actually get a $250 million bonus for the development team if they reach those milestones. And of course, when the game is not releasing this year, then they cannot reach those milestones, and with that, the bonus is void. And that's really interesting because the delay is not coming from the development team, it's coming from Krafton. So apparently the founders of the studios were very adamant that Subnautica 2 can actually release this year, at least in early access, right? And that basically that was one of the things they told the team, like, hey folks, if we are releasing this, we will make a shit ton of money and we will distribute that money to all about the 100 people working at the studio. And then last week, Krafton was like, the game is not ready. And the founder said, yeah, that game is ready. That game will release this year. And that was apparently the thing why Krafton in the end ousted the founders, put in their own CEO, and made them kick out. And then said, okay, we will not release this game this year. Now, that would be, of course, crazy when Krafton is basically delaying this game just so they don't have to pay out the $250 million. That is, of course, a lot of money, but it's certainly one of the first times you hear actually a publisher saying that the game is not ready and the game needs so much more time and the development team is of another mind. Like, normally the roles are reversed, right? We have seen this in the last years where it was always like the developers back the publisher to give them more time to work through the issues, and the publishers always said, we have to reach those milestones, we have to reach those quarters, let's push it out, no matter the state it's in, we can fix it later. And this time it's the other way around. That's certainly a very interesting thing, to say the least. Now, we don't know, of course, what the reason for it is, and they even had a town hall where they actually asked the new CEO, Steve Paputzis? I'm so sorry, Steve, let's call him Steve. And they were asking him, like, hey, did they just do that so they don't have to pay us the 250 million US dollars? And he just said, I don't know. I have no clue about contracts here. Like, I was basically just put in charge to oversee this. I assume that the dude was even told, like, oh yeah, we have some gameplay issues. You were there to save the day. Like, who knows what the executives told this dude. And yeah, he is apparently looking into it. And this is more or less an evolving story. But nonetheless, this probably means that Subnautica 2 is not going into early access this year, which is, of course, not great. And if it's true that this was just done to not pay out the developers, then shame on you, Krafton. Shame on you. With that said, we're at the end of the video though. I will put the link down below in the video description so you can read the whole thing yourself. to absolutely make sure that this is not just something I made up on the go. And with that said, I would still appreciate if you leave a like. If you still have your own thoughts on all of this, please let me know down below in the comments. I always like to read them. And if you want to see more Subnautica 2, even in the future, when it's coming out this or next year, and in the meantime, you want to check out some other survival games and RP games, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.